Sup, man? Welcome to the Redneck's Guide to Fafnir. Now, Fafnir is a guardian, so he's going to be really tanky, obviously. But unlike most guardians, he also has tremendous damage potential. He can be a huge threat on the battlefield, both in terms of being able to deal out reliable stuns, slows, disarms, and damage over time when he's in his ultimate form, as well as being able to take considerable amounts of punishment from his defenses. So we're going to look at how to build Fafnir to be a reliable and constant threat on the battlefield. First, let's look at his lore. Now, he's a dwarf in the mythical sense. So mythical dwarves are very greedy. They are vile and greedy. They are constantly looking to get more gold, get more jewelry. You know, they're always crafting and smithing more gems, more gold. So basically, here's the deal, man. Fafnir is the son of Hreidmar. Now, Hreidmar was a dude. He was just kind of, chilling out. And then Odin, Loki, and Honir visit Hreidmar, and they're like, "Hey, man, what's up? We got you this otter pelt, man. You know, like you can put stuff in it. You can you can put it in front of your fireplace. Like, it was, thought you might like an otter pelt." What they didn't know was that otter was Hreidmar's son, man. So they basically just handed him like, "Hey, here's your son's skin. Thought you might use it for something." And of course, Hreidmar is like, "Man, you guys suck." So he just imprisons them. But he's like, "You know what? If you fill up my son's skin with gold, because I'm, just that greedy, apparently, I'll let you go." So Loki's like, "All right, I got a plan." Loki goes out there and he finds some cursed gold. And he goes like, "Here's your gold, man." And Hreidmar's like, "Yeah, all right, here you go. I'll let you go, man. Thanks for the gold." Now, Fafnir saw this gold and was like, "Man, that's a lot of gold." So he killed his own dad and took the gold, but he didn't know it was cursed. And that curse made him paranoid and cursed him with madness. So he just became kind of a recluse, a loner, just constantly wanting more and more gold. But with the battle of the gods at play, he sees, man, every time they get a minion kill, they get gold. Every time I kill another god, they get even more gold. I got to get in on this. That's what I'm talking about. So Fafnir is coming to the battlefield to get in on some of that glittery goodness. All right, now let's take a look at Fafnir's abilities. So, first, let's take a look at his passive, Endless Greed. So Fafnir gains 4 bonus gold from all enemy kills and assists, including minions. Fafnir also gains bonus protections based on the amount of gold he's currently holding, capped at 1,000 gold, up to 30 magical and physical protections at 1,000 gold. So the more gold you got, the tougher you get, straight up. In addition, you basically have Watcher's Gift on a stick, just constantly getting 4 gold for every minion or god kill, even if you had nothing to do with it. But even if you get the kill, you still get the bonus. Now here's the thing. It doesn't look like tower kills get you that extra 4 gold. I'm not sure if that's a bug or if that's intentional, but if the tower gets the kill, it doesn't look like you get the gold. So you can't just let the tower do all the work for you. But if you or your laning partner gets the kill, you do get that bonus 4 gold. Now this is insane because this stacks with Watcher's Gift. It's basically a Watcher's Gift, and then you get Watcher's Gift. So you basically have 2 Watcher's Gifts in terms of gold gain. It's just ridiculous. It's so good. Because of this, Watcher's Gift we will get in every single game mode, including Arena. You wouldn't think, oh, Arena, you get all your gold from getting, player kills too. You would be surprised how much gold you can really get just from being around those minions and them dying with a Watcher's Gift, as well as getting some of your health and mana back. It is ridiculous. You're just going to have to trust me on this. Watcher's Gift is just insane on this character. The gold gain is absolutely ridiculous. But we're going to get to those items later. Now let's look at his main abilities. Now all of his abilities get an additional buff when he is in his ultimate form. And so let's take a look at what his abilities do both on and off his ultimate. So Curse Strength. He hurls a hammer forward, dealing damage to enemies in his path. Now the It's, it's pretty much a straight skill shot. It's not as wide as the animation may make it appear, but it's not that hard to land. You're just going to have to take some practice. But when you land with your hammer, it's going to deal damage to all enemies it passes through. When it hits the first god, it's going to stun them for 1.5 seconds. And then it's also going to radiate out a pulse, slowing all enemies, including the stunned one, for 3 seconds. Now that's pretty great. It deals good damage, 100 up to 260 plus 50% of your magical power. And it's going to slow from 20 to 40%. That is some serious slow, and that is some significant damage. Now, when you're in your ultimate form, in addition to the damage and the slow, it's also going to put a 50 to 130 plus 25% of your magical power dot on them, dealing that damage once per second for 3 seconds. And also, in your dragon form, is going to put a protection debuff from 20 to 40% reduced protections. That is huge, and that's also going to last for 3 seconds. That is some really, really crazy bonuses from being in your ultimate form. Now, in your ultimate form, it is sometimes difficult to see where it's going to land because when you're in dragon form, it takes up a pretty serious amount of your screen. So it's just going to take a little bit of practice, but make sure you land it because it does have a pretty long cooldown at 15 seconds. But it's not that expensive, 60 to 80 mana. Not terribly expensive, so if you miss, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to be that huge of a mana drain, but it does have a long cooldown, so you're going to have to be careful of that. Now, a second ability is Coerce. Now, Coerce is one of the coolest buffs in the game. So here's what it does. You're going to pick a target. Now, that target's going to get an attack speed buff from 10 to 50% attack speed for 5 seconds. That's just pretty awesome. Not only can you give yourself a 10 to 50% attack speed buff, you can give it to anyone. It's based on your ground target location. Now, in addition to that, you're going to get bonus damage from 5 to 25% of the target's power. So if you choose someone that's really high power, like a Yanis or an Anubis, or maybe even a physical god with a lot of power, it's going to give you bonus damage 5 to 25% based off of the target's power, and that is damage that you get. That is your bonus damage. And additionally, no matter who you target, you're going to heal yourself for 50 to 170 plus 40% of your magical power. So no matter who you buff, you're getting bonus damage and you're getting a pretty damn serious self-heal. The more power you got, the bigger that heal gets. So keep that in mind. Its cooldown is 13 seconds and its cost is 50, so it's cheap. It doesn't have that long of a cooldown. It lasts 5 seconds. It's just awesome. This is just a great buff. It's one of the best buffs I think out. I think it's just one of the best buffs out there. You can buff yourself or anybody else, but no matter who you buff, you get a damage bonus and you get a heal. It's just awesome. When you're in Draconic form, that buff becomes an AoE on the ground that's going to affect you, that's going to affect everyone in the AoE, including yourself if you're within the AoE. And that bonus damage is going to apply from every single target you hit, I think. If you get 3 gods with that buff, you're going to get 25 to 25% of the target's power for each god you hit. So keep that in mind. When you're in your ultimate, you're going to want to throw it as an AoE on the ground, buff as many of your allies as you can, yourself if possible. Now, your third ability is Underhanded Tactics. It's a leap. So Fafnir, you're going to leap out to a target location, and you're going in a cone in front of you, you're going to deal damage and disarm all enemies for 2 seconds. That's pretty great. It's a leap. It can go over walls, go through towers, go through Odin's Wall, go through Kabrakan's Wall. It's just great. It's a leap. It's awesome. So it's good. It's going to deal some decent damage, 80 to 240 plus 60% of your magical power. And when you're in Dragon, it's also going to put a dot on everybody, 40 to 120 plus 30% of your magical power every second for 3 seconds. Now, when you're in dragon form, you're also going to be able to leap way further, and the closest god to you that's hit by that disarm is also going to be stunned. That for 2 seconds. Now that is just awesome. Not only does your hammer stun, but when you're in ultimate, you've got another stun on your leap. That's just great, man. So now we talked about how your ultimate is going to impact your abilities. Let's take a look at what your ultimate actually does. So your ultimate is you are going to turn yourself into a dragon. Now, when you turn yourself into a dragon, there's about a 1.5 second animation, and when you do that, you're going to be untargetable, meaning that nothing can deal damage to you. If you have a dot, I think the dot will keep going on you, but you can't be targeted. No one can basic attack you. They can't land abilities on you. So during that 1.5 seconds, you're practically invulnerable. When you erupt, you're going to deal damage from 80 to 160 plus 40% of your magical power to all enemies in a pretty significant radius around you. Now, its duration lasts from 20 to 40 seconds. During that time, your basic attack is turned into basically a cone AoE of poisoned dragon breath. It's 20 to 40 plus 10% of your magical power. Now, that seems pretty low, right? But you got to keep in mind that it's a dot. It's going to tick really, really fast. It ticks 3 times per second. So that's basically an attack speed of 3, which is higher than a basic attack can ever normally get. So your attack speed is huge in this form. It's also a cone in front of you that goes out a pretty long way, and it's an AoE, so it can hit multiple enemies. It's just great. Costs 100, 90-second cooldown, so not that long will cooldown. It's not that expensive, so it's just a great ultimate. And while you're in it, all your abilities get a buff. Now here's another thing: when you enter your ultimate, all of your cooldowns are reset. I know it doesn't state that, but it's true, at least for now, as of the time of this recording. When you enter your ultimate, when you erupt, all of your cooldowns are reset. When your ultimate ends and you revert back to normal form, again, all of your cooldowns are reset. So keep that in mind. You can leap in, bust all your cooldowns, and then use your ultimate and get all your cooldowns back. So, you can use it very much like that. Also, feel free right before your Draconic Corruption ends, just blow all your cooldowns. And then once you revert back to normal form, all your cooldowns are reset. That's just all, except for Draconic Corruption, of course. So you can use it like that to make sure that you are getting the most out of your cooldowns. Make sure you use that very reliably. Now, here's the other thing. You're invulnerable, practically, when you're entering dragon form, but not when you're leaving it. There's an animation when you leave dragon form that takes about the same amount of time, but you are not invulnerable during that time. You are extremely vulnerable. You're effectively stunned. You can take tons of damage that way. So make sure you keep an eye on how long your dragon form has left in it. You can see it in your buff bar. It will have a duration on it. Make sure you are well out of harm's way before it ends. Otherwise, you could find yourself, trapped in the middle of a bunch of enemies and you can't do anything about it. So, be sure that you're very well aware of when your Draconic Corruption is going to end. All right, now we've taken a look at his abilities. Let's take a look at how we're going to build Fafnir. Now, I try to normally keep my builds pretty simple for you guys, because, we're just trying to learn the god, but there are just so many options. And I just want to show you, he can use every single one of these items. Now, you can build him for just straight support. You can build him for straight damage. You could also build him as a reliable, just jack of all trades. Now, that's what we're going to look at today. How to build him as just a jack of all trades. Got some good mitigations while still being able to deal some significant damage. Now, it's not on here, but the first item you're going to get is Watcher's Gift. No excuses. No matter what you're doing, you get Watcher's Gift. The bonus to health, the bonus to mana whenever a minion or jungle creep is killed, and the 4 bonus gold is just ridiculous on top of your passive. You get this every time. Your gold gain will go out the roof when you have Watcher's Gift. Always get it first. After you get Watcher's Gift, you're going to get, if you're going for damage, you're going to go Shoes of the Magi. And as a jack of all trades, we're also going Shoes of the Magi. We got the power, we've got some penetration, and we got the movement speed. It's just great. If you're going for a support build, you're instead going to get Shoes of Focus. Not as much power, and you don't get the pen, but you do get 250 mana and 10% cooldown reduction. So you can throw out your hammers, your leaps, your debuffs more reliably. You can throw out your buff, more often. So so you're going to get Shoes of Focus if you're going for a more support-oriented build. But as a jack of all trades, we're going to get Shoes of the Magi for the power and the pen. Now, after we get that, we're going to get Dynasty Plate Helm. Now, Dynasty Plate Helm is a cheap item, 1,700. Look at what you get for this. 45 magical power, 30 physical protection, and 15 more magical penetration. That's just great. No, it doesn't have a passive on it, but those are just some great stuff to have. More power, more physical protections, and more magical penetration. That's just awesome. It doesn't really need a passive because it's just so cheap. It's just a great item, and we're going to get it. Now, after we get that, we're going to get Soul Reaver. Soul Reaver has a buttload of power. 100 magical power is going to give you a buttload more mana at 300. And once every 40 seconds, when your ability lands, you're going to deal 10% of that god's maximum health in damage to them as magical damage. And that's once every 40 seconds. So that means when you come back to lane, when you throw an ability, it's going to deal a ton more damage. 10% doesn't sound like a lot. Trust me, it's a lot. When you hit with that Soul Reaver, it's going to deal a ton of damage. And it's also going to give us tons of power, tons of mana. So it's just a great item to have, and we're going to get it early. Now, after that, you're going to go either Voidstone or Rod of Tahuti. If you need a little bit more protection or you're a little bit more supporty at this point, you're going to get Voidstone. It is going to give you 40 magical power, 50 magical protection, and is going to reduce the magical protection of all enemies within 55 units, which is the range of pretty much all of your abilities, by 20. So it's basically going to give you another 20 magical penetration on top of the 30 you got already. That's 50 magical pen, man. That's a lot of pen. However, if you want to go just for mad damage first, you just want to just pump out that damage, you're going to get Rod of Tahuti first. Now, we can afford to take that 4th instead of 5th because our gold gain is really just that crazy. It's just so crazy that we can just go for Rod of Tahuti 4th. We're just going to have that much money. So if you really want the damage first, you can go for Rod of Tahuti first. But either way, you're going to go Voidstone and Rod of Tahuti, or Rod of Tahuti, then Voidstone. Now, after we get that, our last item is going to be, once you have the money, you're going to sell your Watcher's Gift, and you're going to get Mantle of Discord. It's got huge physical protection, huge magical protection, 15% cooldown reduction, and once every 90 seconds, when you fall below 30% health, you stun all enemies within 20 units of you. That's just incredible. It's got tons of protection, tons of cooldown reduction, and when you get low, you're going to throw out a stun. It's just great. That's just awesome. You know, what's not to like about that? So that is how we're going to build our Fafnir. In terms of items. Now, our relics are going to be, first you're going to get Curse. It's just good. It's going to slow them. It's going to reduce their healing. It's just great. It's a good item, especially in a team fight. And the other one we're going to get is Shell. Now, of course, like in some situations, you may want a Purification. In others, you might want a Sanctuary. You know, you might want a Phantom if they've got a whole bunch of walls. But for our general all-purpose build, we're going to go Curse and then Shell. Now, for consumables, you got your standard Healing Potion and Mana Potion, Ward, Sentry Ward. Now, since you're a Guardian, your team's probably going to expect you to pick up wards. So out of the gate, we're going to get 2 wards and 4 Mana Potions. Healing Potions aren't quite as important because we can heal ourselves with our Coerce. So a Mana Potion might be more valuable, but depending on who you're laning against and who you're laning with, you might want to get a Health Potion instead. Or, you know, if they've got if wards aren't your thing, if somebody else is covering wards, you might get a Healing Potion as well as a Mana Potion. So just keep that in mind. All right. Now we've taken a look at items, let's take a look at abilities. So, at how we're going to level them. So the first thing we're going to take is Underhanded Tactics. So underhanded tactics, the reason we're going to take it first, it's a leap. I always take mobility options, especially leaps, first, because in the early game, if you're at level 1 and you get early ganked, that leap will literally make the difference between life and death. That leap will enable you to get the hell out of there. You know, so it is very good to have a leap as early as possible so you can get out of early game ganks. The second thing we're going to take is Coerce, and that is so we get our buff and also so we get our heal. We're going to want that heal second because just, you know, to kind of keep us in the game a little bit longer. The last thing we're going to get is Curse Strength. It is our damage, and it's our slow, and it's our stun. So we're going to get that third. Now, even though we get that third, we're going to level that one first. The reason is it's got the most power. It's got the most damage of any of our abilities. It also has a slow. It has a damage per tick when you're in dragon form, and it shreds debuffs. We're going to want that fast, just for the stun and the damage, the debuffs, and the dot over time. And we're also going to take Draconic Corruption at every possible opportunity because we want that duration. That leveling increases its duration. It also increases the damage of your basic attack when you're in it, and it increases the initial dot you put on people. But we're going to want it mainly for that duration and the Dragon Breath damage. So we're going to take it every possible opportunity. The second thing we're going to level is Coerce. The reason is you're going to get that attack speed buff, you're going to get the bonus damage, and you're going to get a much bigger self-heal. And we're going to finish that off by level 14. That's important because by level 14, we're going to want that heal to be as good as we can get it. We're going to want that attack speed to be as high as we can possibly get it. And we're going to want that damage to be as high as we can get it. Once we're in the mid game and people are really starting to up their power, and they can really get a big bonus from attack speed. The last thing we're going to get is our leap. Its damage is kind of comparable to our stun, but that's all it does from leveling it. All it does is increase the damage. It doesn't, by leveling this first, we can increase our slow, we increase our debuff shred when we're in ultimate. The only thing we can get out of this from leveling it is our damage. It doesn't infect its cost, doesn't decrease its cooldown, so there's really no reason to level it until at the very, very end. So now that we've taken a look at how we're going to build Fafnir, let's take a look at how he performs in combat. Alright, now we're going to see how Fafnir performs in combat. First, let's take a look at the shot. Now, as I mentioned before, get Watcher's Gift first. No excuses for that. I don't care what you're playing, get Watcher's Gift first. It's that good. Then we're going to start picking up Shoes of the Magi. With the remainder of our money, we're going to pick up 4 mana potions, and we're going to pick up 2 wards. Now, our first relic, I think it's more valuable to have Curse. In case you get into a situation where a gank is possible, you're going to want that Curse to make sure that they can't get away. So, obviously, they want me in the left lane, apparently. Alright, now let's see. We're with Artemis here. This is actually a pretty decent laning partner. You got your range, and I'm the melee. So, this guy's being a little bit of an ass. Let's go ahead and stun Ares real quick. Let's get him off of Artemis's tail right here. I don't know what this Ares is doing. That is not a good start. Alright, but look at this. You see all that gold I'm getting right there? Look at this. 6 plus 4 plus 4. And I'm getting the 7 health. That's just freaking awesome, man. Let's stun him right here. He decided to rush in rather stupidly. Let's give Artemis an attack speed bonus and heal myself a little bit. Artemis is going to have to go back. But I want you to watch that gold on the side. 12 plus 4 plus 4. 12 plus 4 plus 4. 12 plus 4 plus 4. You see, I'm getting more money from not getting the kills than I would be getting from getting the kills. Almost. It's about at least as much, sometimes more if I have a laning partner. So really, you don't have to worry about last hits at all. You really almost don't want them. Alright, now this Ares is coming up in here. He's just going to kind of defend. Here comes Artemis again. Artemis is going to shoot in. Here comes this guy. Let's go ahead and stun him. Get a little bit of damage off. Let's give Artemis an attack speed buff. You can see that little thing on her. That's showing that she is buffed to make sure you know you did it correctly. We're going to harass just a little bit. I also show that I haven't been showing where I put wards. So let's go ahead. Well, no. So where I put wards generally is I'm going to put 1 on damage camp if we're in Clash. Obviously in Conquest this would be different. But, in Clash you're going to put 1 on damage camp. And then you might, if you're up against a really tricky team, we're going to stun this guy. We're going to deal some damage. We're going to get that kill. He was not prepared for that stun. We're going to give Artemis an attack speed boost. We're going to push out on Ares just a little bit. Oh, looks like he's dealing some damage, so we're just going to get out of that real quick. We're going to stun him just to deal with him a little bit. We're also going to give Artemis another attack speed boost. And we're going to activate a mana potion. Give us some mana back. Alright, so we got quite a lot of dudes here right now. So we can deal a little bit of damage by tossing out that hammer. Or give ourselves an attack speed boost. Just to heal ourselves. We're going to leap in just to deal a little bit of damage because that is a huge, huge wave. And it is tough for us to deal with it. We do not have a lot of wave clear. So, we're just going to have to do the best we can. Let's stun him, make sure he gets hit by the tower as much as possible, and then he's going to die because he's stupid. I mean, he's a bot, you know. They're only so good. Okay, Artemis is running off, but we're going to stick around because we really need this help and the money. Look at all that, getting all them heals, getting all that money. Let's sleep in. Let's throw a hammer. Can we get him? Yes, we can. Oh, no way! Oh, that is unfortunate. We don't have the power. That was just... Ugh, you know what I'm saying? Isn't that annoying? But we, you know, if we just weren't quite as unlucky, we could have gotten that kill on Ares, but we didn't. Now, we're about to head back because, well, I guess we don't really need to. Let's go ahead and pop another mana potion. You know what? I'm going to miss that hammer because I'm an idiot, but I am going to give Artemis another attack speed boost for no reason. Give myself, you know, a good bit of healing on top of that. There's Ares. Ares is going to hurt a little bit, but that's okay. He's not dealing too much damage. Then we're going to stun him just because we can. Deal some damage. Give ourselves an attack speed boost. We're going to leap out. And we're just going to kind of sit and watch. Now, again, our wave clear is not great, and our laning partner isn't doing this very admirably. So we're going to hit him again. We're going to try and force this guy out because he's being a little annoying here. I want you to look at this. We are 5 minutes into the game. I have had a hand in 2 kills, and I'm sitting at 3,300 gold. Are you seeing how much gold I'm getting from this? It's ridiculous. Let's give Artemis an attack speed boost. Let's go ahead and stun this guy. Can we get him? Come on, Artemis. You got him. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, now we're going to go back to base because we just have an absolute... Actually, no, we're not. Maybe we are. Let's go ahead and stun you because I don't like you. There we go. Good job, Artemis. Okay, now we've got just so much money. We're going to go back. Now we're at not even 6 minutes and we're at 4K, you know, gold. That's just insane. Let's go ahead and finish off our boots. We're also going to go ahead and get our Dynasty Plate Helm, and then we're going to work on our Soul Reaver. Now, I've got a pretty decent amount of mana here. I mean, a pretty decent amount of power, and we've got some serious magical penetration, so now we don't really got to worry about tanks that much. We're going to deal a lot more damage to these tanks. Oh, this isn't good. Yeah, I'm going to get pulled in, but he's not really going to be able to do a lot of damage to me. It's just too early in the game for that. He's going in. He's going in hard. Let's go ahead and stun him, deal some damage. Let's heal myself a little bit. Do a little more damage. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. All right, Artemis. All right. Let's just push him out a little bit. Getting more gold. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's go in here and see what we can do against these guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to leap in. We're going to activate our Draconic. We're going to go ahead and kill him. And then we're going to leap over here. We're going to go up against that. We're going to stun him. We're going to leap. We're going to coerce ourselves. And then we're going to do a little bit more damage. This might not work out in our favor, but we're doing as good as we can. All right, we got a kill out of that. We forced him out. That was our whole objective. Now our Draconic Corruption is about to come out. Now look at this. During that entire animation you just saw, you are completely vulnerable. So make sure you are well out of harm's way before you try and, you know, and come out of Draconic Corruption. If you would like to come out of it early, you can press whatever your hotkey is for your ultimate. You can press it again and it will bring you out of your ultimate. So make sure you don't double tap that ultimate, you know what I'm saying? Because it can bring you out of it early. But if you need to get out of it early, you can press your ultimate again and it will bring you out. Okay, we got Anubis over here. You know what? There's too many people in this lane. Let's move over here. We've got this guy. He's coming in. He's going to get stunned. Actually, he's just going to die, apparently. So we're going to come in. We're going to snag that kill. Okay, it looks like they are working on this lane. All right, let's see what we can do about this Guan Yu over here. We're going to leap in. We're going to disarm him. We're going to stun him. We're going to smack him around a little bit. We're going to give ourselves a power and attack speed increase, and we're going to get that kill because of it. That's what I'm talking about right there. Okay, this Arachne is... Looks like she's trying to put a hurt. What she's going to do is she's going to get stunned. We're going to coerce ourselves. We're going to deal some damage. We're going to get that kill. You seeing that? That's what I'm talking about right there. Use your coerce when you're in combat on yourself if you're a damage dealer, on an ally if they've got better ADC than you. And you can get some serious damage going on there. Now I've got an Ares over here that we're going to leap in on. We're going to miss that stun. That's okay. We're just trying to force him out. Alright, we've got a protection debuff, so we've got to be pretty careful right now. We're going to coerce ourselves, give ourselves a little bit more power. We are going to stun this guy. We're going to do some damage. We're just trying to force him out because this is a huge, huge wave we're trying to force out here. And our wave clear is not very good, so we're just having to do the best we can. We're going to coerce ourselves to give us a little bit more damage. We're going to go in on this guy, and we're going to stun, and we're going to get that kill. Now we're going to leap on him. We're going to disarm him. We're going to deal some damage. And we're going to get that double kill right there. That's what I'm talking about. With his disarm, he was not able to fight back for those 2 seconds. So we're able to secure a little bit more damage. And we're going to coerce Artemis. Look at all that healing. That's what I'm talking about. Getting ourselves those heal. We're also going to activate a mana potion. There's not really a whole lot of need to do that, but we're going to do it anyway. And look at all this, just look at all this gold. We're back up to 3,500 gold practically. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to coerce Artemis to give her a little bit more attack speed against this tower. Give ourselves some more damage. We're going to lay a smackdown on this tower. Can we get it? Yeah, we're definitely going to be able to get it. We got it. All right, now we got that tower down. So we are going to we're going to coerce Artemis again. She's definitely got more attack power than we do at this point. We're going to leap in. We're going to throw a hammer. We're going to get that kill. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to just harass this Ares right here. All right. Okay, Artemis, let's give you a little bit more attack speed. We're going in there. That's what I'm talking about. That coerce really working for us. And we're still getting all that health and all that gold from that Watcher's Gift. Let's give Artemis even more attack speed. Look at that attack speed. She doesn't even have her buff active. Alright, we're going to try and protect Artemis if we can. Oh shit, this is going to hurt. Let's go ahead and activate this. Let's try and push him out. Okay, we're going to stun him with that, and then we're going to get that kill. We're going to leap on him. We're going to stun him. We're going to get this kill as well. That's what I'm talking about. See, I used my one in order to stun the horseman, whose name I can't remember just because I'm having a brain fart at the moment. But we're going to get that stun on him. And then I leapt on Ares because in dragon form, your leap also stuns. Now, I need to get out of here because it's about to fade. Alright, so now we got this. We're going to go back to base. Unfortunately, Artemis is going to die. We're going to stun that person just because I don't like them. And we're going to leap away, and we're going to try and run back. Now, because he's a boss, he's probably too stupid to attack me, which he is, but that's okay. We're going to finish off that Soul Reaver. And now, since we got it, let's just go ahead and get our Rod of Tahuti. Oh, and we're leaving the fountain without a relic because I'm stupid. So we're going to get that shell. So now I've got Curse and Shell. So now we can both buff our allies and debuff our enemies in a team fight. Now what's going on over here? Now our ultimate's on cooldown, so we can't do that. This is going to be tough to try and deal with all these people. That doesn't really do enough damage to really matter. Look at that. We are now doing 74 damage to him, and he's a tank. Artemis, let's give you a little bit of attack speed and get ourselves back to full. Let's go ahead and stun you, because I don't like you. And we're going to get that kill. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, now, we're going to go ahead and, well, what we're going to do, aha. Let's go ahead and stun him. We're going to coerce ourselves. to give us a little bit more damage. Oh, looks like Artemis got the kill anyway. Look at that attack speed. Well, so this is our, so you're seeing like this, just so you get an idea of how much 50 attack speed really is, 50%. This is our attack speed. Swing, swing, swing. Now look what happens when I coerce myself. Swing, 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 swing. That attack speed bonus is huge. So we're going to stun this Arachne and get the kill because our Soul Reaver was active. So because our Soul Reaver was active, it did a hell of a lot more damage. And we're able to easily secure that kill against Arachne. Okay, now unfortunately our Thor is extremely stupid. Alright, we're not going to be able to secure this, but I'm going to toss a hammer just to deal some damage. And now that we have some serious magical power, our hammer can actually serve as a decent wave clear. We're going to try and avoid using it as a wave clear if we can. And look at all that tower damage right there from that coerce on ourselves. That's what I'm talking about right there. Alright, we're going to leap in. We're going to stun. We're going to activate this, and we're going to deal a huge job on all of them. We're going to stun again. We're going to stun. Oh, we're not going to stun again. We missed the leap. That's okay. We're going to deal as much damage as we can. We're going to coerce ourselves. We're going to deal even more damage. We're going to get that kill. That's what I'm talking about. With that coercion, we're doing just tremendous, tremendous damage. And then we're going to easily secure the kill against the Titan. So that is how you're going to use Fafnir in battle. Make sure you use that coerce on yourself and your allies, depending on whoever is doing more attack damage. Usually it's going to be an ally, but you know, sometimes if you're alone or if you're with the support and you're the primary damage dealer, feel free to coerce yourself. Give yourself more attack speed. Give yourself more damage. You know, it's going to be really useful. However, if you're with an Artemis, a Rama, you know, a Kali, you know, so anyone who's just got more reliable ADC than you, you're probably going to want to coerce them before you coerce yourself. It's just going to be more total DPS for the team for you to coerce other people. But feel free to coerce yourself if that's what counts. No matter who you coerce, you're going to get the damage bonus and you're going to get the healing. So it really doesn't matter as far as that goes. The only reason to coerce yourself is for the attack speed. So just keep that in mind. You're going to use your Draconic Corruption in a team fight because it's going to make you temporarily invulnerable. When you erupt, you're going to deal a whole bunch of damage, and it's going to reset all your cooldowns. So be sure when you complete or when you enter into a team fight and your ultimate is up, feel free to just go ahead and bust it. You know, get that damage out there. You know, try and scare them off. You can throw a curse before you do it to try and keep them from escaping. You know, they might not be able to get out of your AoE if they're not paying a whole lot of attention, especially if they don't have any mobilities. So you're going to curse them first. And, you know, and then after you're out of your Draconic Corruption, once you've erupted, you might want to pop your shell because you're probably going to draw a lot of aggro. You know, now you're a big, huge dragon. You're probably going to draw a lot of aggro. Bust that shell to make sure you can take a little bit of that burst damage without just being totally gunned down. So I hope this has been an instructional video on how to play Fafnir. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And as always, have a good one out there, y'all. I'll see you next time.